whenever I'm here at the Hot L, I always am so appreciative of the community of poets and poetry readers that come together. It's really important to me personally to be with you all on these occasions. I find it inspiring, I find it moving, I find it sustaining. And it's really enriched my life in Baltimore. And I get particularly excited when the community here connects with the wider community, as it does so naturally, right? Poets are an incestuous bunch, and they're always connecting with one another, collaborating, meeting, reading, traveling. And so it's a particular pleasure to have Josh Mehigan with us, who's come down from Brooklyn. He's no stranger to Baltimore. He's read at Hopkins before, but it's a rare chance that we have him here. I don't think Josh, has read in public for several years, owing to the pandemic, and so it's a wonderful return to normalcy to have people reading live again from their work, and to expand our community to welcome poets from further afield, our friends who live a little bit a ways. It's nice to have them here with us. Joshua Mehigan's second book, Accepting the Disaster, published by Farrar, Straus and Giroux, was cited in the Times Literary Supplement and the New York Times Book Review as a best book of 2015. His poems have appeared in the New Yorker, the Paris Review in Poetry, which awarded him its 2013 Levinson Prize. He's a recipient of fellowships from the Guggenheim and the NEA, and from 2017 to 2020, he taught at Northwestern University as a visiting artist. Really generous of him to make the trip to be with us. I believe he's going to be reading new poems, which is a particular treat, and I'm very pleased to welcome him now, Joshua Mehigan.
Hi, thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you also to Steph, I'll say, and to Clara, and to everybody, and also to Thea. Thank you very much, and to everybody who read. Thank you. Now, I'm going to read off my computer, which I have never done. No, that's not true. I've done it once before when I had the same problem I had today. So a problem with paper. So can I be heard? I could be heard. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'd like to actually read a mix of new and old poems. The first poem I'd like to read is called Rabbit's Foot, and it's an old poem from my first book. Rabbit's Foot. And it was apparently thought that trying to remember my own note from the back of this. I don't know if this will add to it or not, but people used to conflate hares and rabbits. That's it. So Rabbit's Foot. That explains why hares appear at all in this poem. That's all. Okay. Rabbit's Foot. Grandfather Rabbit and Grandfather Hare, forgive us, your forgetful progeny, who unleash dogs to shake you in their jaws, then sell your hacked-off hands as souvenirs. Forgive us. Our hearts, too, are very little and race with blood as tenuous as our fate. We also tremble helplessly, or flee. But with this relic of your ancient luck, so may we also often procreate and burrow always toward the mystery below, as our grandfather rabbit does. And may our naked children, as yours do, Grandfather Hare, drop always open-eyed onto the sunlit meadow of despair. You can laugh. This is called Down in the Valley. Actually, my friend Martha is here. Martha is from my hometown. We've known each other a very long time. And you will recognize maybe the subject of this poem. It's called Down in the Valley. It was her first time coming home from college. She headed downtown for a drink or two. Her girlfriend went home early. That was Christmas. Now, under sapling pine trees in the clearing, snowdrops are coming back to their old places. They had been gone a lifetime. Now they stand poised like a choir on the verge of singing. Nature is just. There's nothing left to fear. The worst thing that can happen happened here. Her name was Sherry Carville. I don't know if that means anything. Yeah. This is the closest I'll probably ever come to writing a poem about poetry. It's called The Turn. This is a new poem. I like that there are actual crickets. Who would have thought a man could spend his life going around collecting bits of old tinfoil and sitting hour by month by year, carefully smoothing down each crease and fold with the blunt handle of a butter knife, till every piece was like a little mirror. After my last book, I wrote only prose for years, and I thought I was done, of course, because I'm that kind of person. I thought I was done with poems, and I thought I would never have another poem occur to me. And then I happened to be, I don't usually write art poems or anything. I don't like to write poems that start from culture usually. But we were in, my wife Talia and I were in a basilica in Florence, which is a basilica named for Saint Lawrence, who was martyred on a griddle, and he was burned to death. But he apparently was supposed to have said, and this was sometime in the early Middle Ages, was supposed to have said, "I'm done on this side. You can flip me over." So. And there's a fresco in this basilica of Saint Lawrence, and it looks like well, you'll see. You don't need to know this painting; it doesn't matter. It's a late fresco by Bronzino. It's extremely mannerist, crazy. It's a bunch of naked men who are beautiful. It's not. It doesn't. It would take a while to recognize that it's actually a martyrdom going on. He's sort of lost in it. It's called Done on This Side. They're all there. The boys, like radiantly lovely teenage girls, flying to you with a palm or jeweled crown or goblet, where you lie attractively on the hard grate over the red coals, the green cloth fortuitous. The nude men in torqued attitudes who stroke the fire, the bathhouse, the platonic exercise, and far up near one corner, pointing down, skirted and epauletted, Caesar, highest, seated where Caesar sits, the granite drape of his vermilion cape, and there beneath it Caesar's bare breast, and Caesar likewise torqued with pointing down, with such pointing down. Your Antichrist, his face, the face of the Maker's long-hated, long-born patron, crowned with green, a green laurel that fast withereth too, between a pair of golden sphinxes that fast withereth too, and golden eagles. Although one has to stand and look around a while to see him, really. In everyone's eyes, the vast, clear eyes of sibyls, acolytes, virgins also, priestesses, whores, posed all in their red and saffron robes, the eyes blue, the blue of blue diamonds, the eyes of the faithful upturned, of the whole choir of saints, of a veiled crone, her hand spilling a bowl of useless money. A child is there beside her, proffering cherries, and another child blonde, his small green apple, the apple meaning something, and everyone's eyes on you. The saints have all died for nothing. They are not alone. I don't know if anybody here comes from a small town and went to a bigger town. I did that. And then sometimes went back to the small town and hung out in bars. As I said before, I've been writing prose. Some of the prose I write in verse, and just remove the line breaks, and then it's prose, even though it's still in verse. And this may never be in a book of poems, I don't know, but I hope it's in a book of prose, but it is actually in verse, so. And it's called Jiggity Jig, and probably people will know the song Comfortably Numb. Yeah, everybody knows that song. If you don't, you can be happy on some level. I had to time, for the book that I'm writing, I had to time this, and I had to, because it's important that things happen at certain moments during the song, in the action of the book, and that made me really hate this song a lot. But I used to love it when I was younger. Anyway, this is called Jiggity Jig. Comfortably Numb had been in the home stretch for some time now, but when the final guitar phrases came, skimming the surface of his awareness, as each note fell and touched its own reflection, he suddenly grasped that though he hadn't heard this song on purpose in the first 15 or previous 26 years of his life, he knew every strain and every vocal inflection and chord change, every scintilla of the concluding solo. He closed his eyes to see, and there it was, far away in the moonless dark, a raft burning with a blue flame on open water. He watched it, and it faded, till it was just audible beneath the voices and voices around him, talking of angels and giants, of the fall and saints and patriots, and over there of the wall and the end, or what the 4 runes meant, and morning and the golden corral. Golden corral is like I don't know if you have those here. Yeah. Thank God. Okay, I'm going to read a very short, weird poem. I don't usually write like concept poems, I guess, but this is sort of a concept poem. It's called Envoy from the Planet of the Apes. And Envoy, you're poets, I mean, like the end of a sestina, Also, Messenger, and Planet of the Apes is, of course, Earth. So this is just 3 lines. The end of a poem that doesn't exist. Of a fictional poem. Collaborative gullibility, dishonorable manufacturers, unnecessary air conditioning. That's an apocalypse poem. I'm going to read one more poem. It's also from my the fiction book, but this is, as I was reading the Jiggity Jig, I realized it's not really verse, actually. It's more like loose verse. But this is actually tight. This poem is actually a tight blank verse poem. It's called Demo Mode, and I forget the name of the children's book. So-and-so's Very Bad Day. It's a long, kind of convoluted title. Well, what's that? Is that what it is? Yeah. Right, exactly. There you go. Great. Thank you. So there's the character in this book, and you don't really need to know all this, I guess, but it might enrich the poem a little bit. The main character has had a horrible day, a truly horrible day, including being beaten up, like just at random in a rest stop, not totally random, but close. And then he finally gets home after a long time, after being stopped by a cop and being thought a criminal and so on. And he gets home, and he's drifting off to sleep. And I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but has a hypnagogic hallucination of driving. So this is Demo Mode, and this brought to my mind. This is a dated reference, but Galaga, or actually just Demo Mode at the end of video games. Demo Mode is when you've lost, and it starts playing for you, and to show you and to coax people into putting a quarter into the machine. So it's like an old coin-op game. Galaga was my game. I used to spend thousands of dollars on Galaga quarters, and I still suck at it. So that's just a reference in the poem, Galaga, you'll see. Demo Mode. Falling asleep after a long drive, 5 a.m. This is a little longer than the other poems, but it's the last poem. Like coming to already on the run in darkness, with the small lights soundlessly ordering and reordering themselves outside, alone like that at night, not seeing the panel of impartial instruments or their consolatory glow, aware only of the repeated scenery always appearing up ahead, arising from nothing, and so easily disappearing into the edges of the visual field. This suffering at the wheel composed the will, until you only understood one thing. You must keep going. Yes, you must get home. He drove. Or anyway, the car went. How, he couldn't say. It just did. It was like a dark ride at the carnival, but fast. Then, traveling through the dark, he got a feeling. It was as if the car were somehow changed. Better. As if the car had understood. It was exciting. It was dangerous. This wasn't hard. But it was just like life. That whole way forward opening forever. The white dash flashing, orange road reflectors in strange evocative configurations, the red lights gone ahead or falling back afloat on darkness, curve, incline, another suspiciously alike. And everywhere nighttime, and don't forget the body too, inert, and never once so credibly a thing as now, dead weight, forever trying in spite of turns and slopes to keep on going the same direction. It was all one thing, mechanical, monadic, just like life, as if the whole way forward ran along a chain conveyor, the chains well camouflaged below a moving surface, maybe road. It was too dark to tell. And then you knew. You felt it in the grotesques of orange dots monotonously reconfiguring, the vistas seeming rise and fall and rise through a mysterious course of slopes and turns and the associated queasy burden of gravity, and you supposed it meant progress, as if you really had been going from here to there. Sure. But now he knew. It was a gaffed wheel. Here, there. What there? There wasn't any there. And what might feel like movement, brother, that was something else. That was activity, like seeing or being, like drifting. It was just like life. It went. In the next moment, with a violent start, he might descry some sudden threat. The instant, whatever it was right in front of him. And then, too late, it was the end, except somehow it all kept going just the same. It passed. Same cheap, looped scenery, no depth, as in the moments after you were killed, but hadn't yet absorbed the fact or quit your prized spot at the Golden Age arcade game, when, independent of your will, the system, since you had not achieved galactic hero, would enter demo mode. And on the screen, the field of stars kept running in a loop. Stars looped, and not a sound, all sense of time and space collapsing. That was Galaga. That was like this was like that. But when, as always in that game, the stars had run on into demo mode, results, then score, adduced in silence, rival craft in silence throbbing above your craft, no longer yours, till, shocking and routine, the model sorties fell with a sound of falling, tractor beam and fighter captured, then the copyright. In those low moments, he had stood, no quarter, and stared as, through the idle interval, a part of him, the quickest part, went on in stealth, maneuvering. He drove. Or anyway, the car went. How seemed almost immaterial. It just did. The mind, too, when you came to think of it, was such a craft. Loved, obsolete machine. No player. Never. Golden Age arcade game in demo mode. The mind kept going. Like the dark rides at a carnival, the fast kept going. It was so confusing. Oh, he'd always known. He knew it at 15, at 12, when he had stood a few feet back, both hands hung buzzing by his sides, no player, still primed as always to respond, the old extraterrestrial imperative. He felt it now, within, and he kept going, following with his mind and with his caring, because he also understood he must infer position and velocity from curves and from deadweight, from silver-orange points, from the points and points, point after point, more from points of silver-orange, and sometimes up ahead, red light, red eyes that rose and sank through night like Vantablack. And so he also understood he must obey that system, which was memoryless, no stars, no sorties, and no tractor beam. And though it wouldn't change a goddamn thing, he must keep going. That was the whole point. It really didn't matter what he wanted. And the stark facts grew starker all the time. There was no respite, no letting go. None of the hard, involuntary effort like trying to control a bowling ball after you let it go by leaning hard away from the inexorable gutter. Not of his weight, not of his hand's malefic grip on the wheel gone too. The hands, the body gone. Only the mind itself traveling too fast out in the open. Still, he must get somewhere. Where, he wasn't sure. It wasn't even possible to stop. Not till he reached the end. Not till he'd moved from the place he himself was in already to the one he had been in all along. Thank you.
Wow, Josh, thank you. Amazing. And so exciting to hear excerpts from the prose project that you've been working on and the beautiful writing contained there. Always a pleasure to read at the Ivy. Emma, thank you so much. This one, I think I'll remember this one for a while. The readings for one and first and foremost. But I can't remember the last time I was at a poetry reading with a rain shower, a late summer breeze, and now we have some sunshine. So,
Even a deer.
and a deer. So the bar is still open for a little while. Books are here for sale. I know that the poets would love to sign copies for you. So don't run away, and we will see you in a month. Thanks so much for coming.